I So I've been kind of contemplating a bit about the relationship that we have as awareness and awareness as the field of awareness and how we experience the world or each other as awareness. And the awareness that experiences itself as awareness experiencing itself. And what is this itself or this idea of other? And I feel like this is a fascinating space for me. Because it can be, it seems, on the journey of recognizing our unicity, our oneness, our wholeness, that we begin to start to see others within ourselves. We start to see the experiences that others have, and we can recognize that same experiencing within ourselves, and we can become more and more and more spacious of the world living within us, our own direct experiences and the feelings or frequencies that the other represents within that become a frequency or resonance that we ourselves, as um, as knowers of the same, of the same field of our own wholeness, can know that within another. For me, a lot of compassion arises from this space of knowing ourselves in another and as another. So becoming more and more and more spacious is really including more and more of other. And so it's almost like we start to take in the world and we become the world. I love this. I love this in recognizing ourselves in another and reducing the gap of other and self, me and other, and seeing more and more and more of our own commonalities. What I feel like is worth exploring is this feeling or this humility. I think that's an important, if not necessary, virtue within our awareness that really combines the I don't know and curiosity together, that allows us to actually take in more, and also more so this facet of differentiating, still holding the curiosity that there is an other who is whole and complete in his the space as well, and also is having their own unique experience within their vastness. And what I can see is that there's a certain kind of loneliness, I think, that arises within the desire of being met or encountered within the space as the differentiated consciousness, the personhood, and the what's going on in your world, the curiosity to continue to, within our vastness, recognize that I don't know is true in a very deep way that is so important for that space between self and other to be able to meet itself and to live within the realm of wonder and surprise and um, awe of what is possible within differentiation. My sense is that it is such an important part that this is how God experiences God's self, is through the humility of the openness to not know what that facet of consciousness in individuated form, what will arise within the individuation to be shared to this differentiated and individuated source that still shares the same united field, that is still part of the whole of itself. And so, yes, there's that dance between knowing another as oneself and also letting that knowing return back to equally not knowing the differentiated God that is arising within the spark of individuality within each person, and letting our humility lead the curiosity to ask the questions, not just relate with the other and, for example, relate with somebody in their experience and like, oh, I get that. I can see that. And make potentially unconscious assumptions that we know. Like, oh, I don't need to actually meet the other person where they are because I got enough of their story that I get it more or less. And we lose that that encounter with the divine, the really getting curious about what really is going on, or how they experience that, how they what that flavor was like for them, and letting their own experiencing of us and us being able to encounter that unicity of their experience through their lens, through um, uh, their own genius, to be able to then, for us to be able to explore more of ourselves through another. Like, we don't have that exact flavor of that exact experience. Like, you know, all all love is not the same experiencing of love. And there are many different kinds of love, right? There's brotherhood, there's divine love, there's romantic love, there's um, many facets of the same one love that we can categorize. And yet we all are having our own unique experience within the vastness. And I guess my own question, my own contemplation within this is, how do we, or how do I continue to let go of my personhood, or the sense of separated individuality, while also continuing to be curious? And that means I don't know. So there's the I know that is true within the field or the vastness, and equally I don't know within the vastness of you and how you're experiencing your your own singular experience of the one. And I feel like there are so many missed opportunities, and is so much loneliness, I think, of us either staying too too much in the field of no individuality and non-differentiation and certainty, and not being able to meet the individual where they are in their differentiated state, still knowing that the vastness is there, but with our own humility and curiosity, with what I'm going to call the encounter. The seemingly like I don't know meeting up with the curiosity of the I don't know yet, and being able to stay in presence to be able to discover together this mutual new field that is connecting both, and both are nourished by this togetherness and curiosity that opens the doorway for both, for the encounter together in a new space of togetherness. Again, folding back in, it's infinite. So how lovely to not only be a door, but also be able to know that the vastness is residing within, no matter who I identify with. And when we're met, that encounter, there are so many gifts that are bestowed upon us, like remembering, feeling in that moment how special we are in our unicity, in that differentiation, in that present moment with somebody holding the openness and the humility and the curiosity to come towards another in their experiencing the loneliness of and isolation that one experiences in their own world no longer is felt. The we space as the collective I becomes greater, and that greatness lives inside each one of us. So as I'm brought back into this consideration, contemplation of the encounter, that divine encounter, that longing to be seen, to be known, to be met, in this differentiation, the I that exists, that is I, from the least of us to the greatest of us as I. And that all being one and knowable. And yet, because the unconscious, subconscious, and becoming conscious of itself, the humility to stay open and available and not know, allow one's self to live in awe and surprise and curiosity like a child, in wonderment of what it's encountering, the sharpness of the senses, in appreciation and reverence for life. Well, these are my musings of today, and I thank you so much for being with me.